Big story that's happening with the United States Connect. Now, another Indian student is facing deportation from the United States. Badr Khan Suri is a researcher in Georgetown University in Washington. He was arrested by the Department of Homeland Security on Monday on the charge that he was supporting Hamas. Suri claims that that is completely wrong and has gone ahead and challenged the order in court, saying his basic rights are being violated. It comes on the back of another student who only last week self-deported because she too was seen to be supporting the Palestinian cause. Is the Donald Trump government now taking on young Indian students who allegedly are involved in supporting Palestinian causes on the campus? And what does that mean for America's claim to be the home of life and liberty? Take a look.
The US Department of Homeland Security has detained an Indian student for alleged violation of visa terms. Badr Khan Suri, a PhD, was studying and teaching at the Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary DHS, confirmed that the arrest in a post on X, saying Suri has close connections to a known or suspected terrorist, who is a senior advisor to Hamas. The official did not give any proof to back the charge. The American media quoted Suri's lawyer, Hassan Ahmad, to say the student picked up from his home in Rosslyn, Virginia on Monday night is awaiting his court date in immigration court. The lawyer said the case is possibly based on who Suri's father-in-law is. Suri is married to a Palestinian American whose father, Ahmad Yusuf, is a former advisor to Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader assassinated by Israel last year in Iran. Earlier, Ranjini Srinivasan, a Columbia PhD candidate, had self-deported after her visa was cancelled. The DHS accused her of supporting Hamas and instigating violence on campus. Ranjini Srinivasan was arrested last year from Columbia campus on the day pro-Palestinian protesters occupied Hamilton Hall. However, her case was later dismissed by a court. The crackdown on foreign students started with the attempt to deport Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University graduate who took part in pro-Palestinian protest.
An anti-war movement. We have sparked similar Gaza solidarity encampments across the nation and even across the globe.
Khalil has challenged the move by Donald Trump administration in a federal court.
As we try to make clear in court today, what happened to Mahmoud Khalil is nothing short of extraordinary and shocking and outrageous. It should outrage anybody who believes that speech should be free in the United States of America. Mr. Khalil is a lawful permanent resident. He was coming home with his U.S. citizen wife, who is 8 months pregnant, and he was taken by U.S. government agents in retaliation, essentially for exercising his First Amendment rights.
Show up and take a stand!
Show up and take a stand!
Last week, scores of people that included Jews staged a sit-in at the Trump Tower in New York to protest the arrest of Khalil.
I'm here to support the students and the illegal way in which they're being treated, particularly the international students, and also because I don't want anti-Semitism to be weaponized to promote these draconian.
Trump was the one who claimed that he's saving freedom of speech, he called that protecting freedom of speech. It's a violation of freedom of speech. It's a dictatorship.
The Trump administration's crackdown on students who took part in pro-Palestine protests has spread fear among the Indian community in the US. America, the land of free speech, today seems to be punishing students for expressing their views. Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to go first across to our Diplomatic Affairs Editor, Geeta Mohan, for the very latest on that. Geeta, this is the second instance where we are seeing an Indian student being deported, in this case actually being arrested and then pending deportation. The earlier was self-deported. How is the MEA, the Ministry of External Affairs, looking at these cases involving Indian citizens?
Well, Rajdi, for one, the first case where she self-deported was because the agencies had gone looking for her. She got to know about it and therefore went on the app, self-deported and left the country. In this case, he was not aware. He was home. He was picked up, is in detention, and he has family there. He's married to an American of Palestinian origin. He has a child with the he also has a child, and so for him it is a very complicated case should he be asked to come back to India. He is an Indian national, and certainly there are many others who are now fearing the very same thing, that if they wrote something which is pro-Palestinian, which the agencies could consider supporting the Hamas, then they would, they fear revocation of visas, even green cards. So there's a real fear there. In terms of how the Ministry of External Affairs has reacted, we sought reaction to this one particular incident. We haven't got a formal reaction from the ministry yet, but we do know that they're looking at it very closely, monitoring the situation. There could be a case where a lot of students could be sent back. There are two important aspects to it. One is them being sent back because of revocation of visas, given that they could or would have participated in some sort of pro-Palestinian protest or movement. On the other hand, freezing of funds, also another worry. So panic in the United States of America, but no official word right now from the MEA. Although we do know that they're monitoring the situation, the embassy is aware.
You know, what does monitoring the situation mean, Geeta? Sorry to be very direct. The Ministry of External Affairs has been very reluctant to take on the Trump administration on any of these issues. It almost seems as if, you know, these are Indian citizens, I repeat. So it seems that the Ministry of External Affairs simply doesn't want to get tangled with the Department of Homeland Security, almost seeming that this is an internal matter of the United States.
Well, two very important things over here, and that's why the Indian administration is treading a very, very thin line over here, Rajdeep. One is that on illegal nationals, they had a position. India itself has been battling it, does not want to get into a space where they're questioning the other government, and has said that if Indians have entered America illegally, they can be sent back. They're welcome to. In this case, it's even more serious, because over here, they're not just entering a country illegally, have done nothing wrong over here. Over here, they're considered being part of or supporting a terrorist organization. Look at the charges that are being leveled against Suri. They're very serious charges. Not only has he been charged with being pro-Palestinian or engaging in pro-Palestinian activities, he's been charged with, or those are the charges that could be leveled against him should he be taken to court, of indulging in terrorist activities, being involved with terrorist organizations. In fact, he's been called an advisor to a Hamas leader, and his wife, who's of Palestinian origin, her father, his father-in-law, connected to or part of the Hamas. So very serious allegations over here, and that certainly is the reason why the Indian administration right now trying to read the room and see how difficult is it going to be for India to navigate the space where they're calling them anti-national or anti-America or even terrorists. Okay.
Geeta Mohan joining me there at the moment. Karan Thukral is an advocate at the Supreme Court, joins me at the moment. He handles immigration cases as well. Karan, what are the legal options in a case like this if the Department of Homeland Security picks up an Indian student, says he in this instance has links to Hamas? Does he really have any strong options?
Well, he has to contest the case. I mean, this is very serious allegations which has been, put up against him. And his wife was an American citizen. What has happened is, he has to put forward the evidence before him that he has to show that he has no links with the Hamas actually organization. Whether it is in India or in the US, if this would have happened in India, this would have been treated very seriously over here also. If a person is having a link with a terrorist organization, this has to be dealt by the court, not by the government.
In your sense, all these Indian students who may have participated in protests that took place over the last couple of years on Gaza, on Palestine, do they all become vulnerable now?
No, they become definitely vulnerable, but at the end of the day, evidence has to be put forth. I mean, there has to be very substantive evidence which can be put forth in the court which shows that there is a link between these students who were basically in a very, very general way protesting, and which they in those students or those individuals which had any link with this organization.
I'm going to leave it there. We'll wait and see how this plays out. But I appreciate you joining me, Karan, to tell me that this is a tough struggle that in this particular instance, this young man will now have to face. He will have to prove in court of law, essentially, that he has no links with Hamas.